So we'll start this morning class, giving a lovely warm up, loads of movement in each direction, and then we'll travel down to the mat and see if we can build in some strength and bring it back up then and finish with a little bit of balance at the end. So we're going to just start off with a little tapping of the body. I want you to tap out the arm. And what we're doing is just getting a little invigoration into the muscles. And also it sends feedback to your brain about any muscle tension, any areas that's maybe a little bit agitated that you feel you need to focus on, but also it connects where everything is in space as well. So you know where your shoulders are, and again, the hips, the back. So you're kind of zesting the body up so that when you move, and we'll travel down the legs, when you move, you really feel that you're connected from your feet to your head. So just tapping, and all you try to do is like make contact with every inch of your body. And as you travel, you probably find little spots that you might find a little bit of tension that you weren't aware of. And then we'll bring that up into the neck, into the jawline. Sometimes you can hold some tension around the jawline, in around the temples and head, and you might find that one half of the skull is a little more tender than the other. And then we'll come down, and then just take a moment now. Can you feel all that little tingly sensations, and you're really aware where all your limbs are in space, so we'll be much more connected when we move. Let's take a breath in and feel a widening and deepening of the rib cage this morning. Exhale, let that go. Bring the breath in, wide and deep. Feeling loads of stretchy movement in your rib cage. And again, a wide, deep breath in. And exhale it out. Stand with the feet hip distance apart, soften the knees. We're going to start by sliding the shoulders up and then letting them go. This time I want you to think of your shoulder blades sliding up like 2 bars of soap and sliding down. Your shoulder blades sliding up like 2 bars of soap and then let them slide down. One more, up we go, shoulder blade focus and back. Now I want you to put your hand onto your collarbone and just slide it along. And now you're thinking that your collarbone is like the stick of a flag, and the flag part is your arm. So you're going to use your collarbone to wave your flag, which is your arm. And you can feel how the collarbone can push the arm back, and pull the arm forward. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Let's brush out that collarbone, feel it. Place your hand there, imagine that's the stick of your flag is your arm, and you're gonna use your stick to swing the flag. And can you feel the movement of your collarbone just moving forwards and back, and can you increase that movement? Lovely. Now we're going to think of the arms, and we're going to lift the heavy arms up and drop the heavy arms down. Lift the heavy arms up, drop them down. One more, lift and drop. Now we've moved all 3 parts of the shoulder girdle. So now we're going to do a little bit of swinging of the arm with balance, and I want you to feel all those parts moving. The best thing to do is if you find one of those parts a little stickier than the rest, say the collarbones are harder to get moving than the shoulder blades or the arms, focus on that area in this one as well and see if you can get a little bit more. So I'm going to go up onto my tippy toes. I'm going to drop into my left heel and bend my right knee, and then just a little switch, like a little moonwalk. That's it. And then I'm going to swing the arms as if I was marching along. And then you're working on that shoulder girdle then. Shoulders, arms, shoulder blades, collarbones. See if you can get a bit more movement in those areas. And then bring it higher. Bring it higher. And then if you can, we'll start to go up to the ceiling and down. Up to the ceiling and down. And one more, up to the ceiling and down. And then release. Okay. So now I want you to bring the arms wide, and I want you to feel your shoulder blades pull back together. And then I want you to round forward and open your shoulder blades like 2 doors. And then pull the shoulder blades back and open them like two doors. One more, pull the shoulder blades back and then open them like two doors and release. Now we're going to go up to the ceiling and over. Now here, I want you to lift your shoulder blade up even more and then let the shoulder pull back and down. Lift your shoulder blade up even more and then let it slide back and down. One more, lift the shoulder blade and back and down. Release, give that shoulder a little shake out. Let's do the same on the other side. So over we go, and then we'll lift the shoulder blade over and then let it rest back. Lift the shoulder blade over, let it rest back. One more, lift and let it rest back. And down we come. Okay, that's the shoulders organized. Have a little rock of the head, side to side, maybe up and down, and just notice, has that improved? The tension in the neck and shoulders. And then we'll travel down into the pelvis now. So let's go with a little wider at the legs. And then we're going to start just brushing open those inner thighs. So the knees and feet are pointing diagonally out. I'm going to sit into my seat and I'm going to brush open those inner thighs and get more space and length. And then up I go. Brush open and up I go. Brush open and up I go. Now I'm just going to turn to the side now so you can see me, but you say where you're at. So I'm going to do the same now, only this time I'm really going to use my sit bones and I'm looking for the seat. So I'm going to search for the seat with my sit bones. Keep the hands brushing open your inner thighs to the front and then up I go. So this is like getting in and out of your seat. Down we go, search for with the headlights of the sit bones and up we go. Now let's get into the muscle power. So from here, we're thinking as we go down, our sit bones are wide, pubic bone, tailbone are wide, we have length in our pelvic floor. Then we're going to hug our sit bones together and have a little wrap of the back side of the pelvis, and we feel lifted up through those muscles. Release them down, length, shorten, and a lift. Release them down, and up we come. Okay, bring the feet in a little closer now, and we're going to go up the other side. So I have my feet like little frog feet. The toes are out, and my heels are slightly together, so that when I come up, I can feel my inner thighs engaged. So if you can bring your feet close enough that your heels meet, fantastic, up we come, you'll feel that. If you need to go a little wider, that's fine as well. Okay, so we're going to go into a little frog leg. At this point, we have a little length in our pelvic floor. And then as we stand up, it gets a little engaged and contracted, and then up onto the toes. And can you feel a real wrap? Sit bones together, pubic bone, tailbone pulled together, desperate need to go to the bathroom. And then down, and then space, release, lengthen. And then engage and lift and wrap. Desperate need to go to the bathroom. And down, release, and wrap, and lift, and release, and down. Lovely. Now I want you to pop your hands on the cheeks of your backside, and I want you to sit back and just feel your sit bones. I want you to keep your right hand on your right cheek of your backside, your sit bone. And what we're going to do is push your sit bone to swing your leg up. So you're going to imagine this is the button that will kick your leg forward, and you're going to push with your hand as well. So as you lift your leg, push into the backside as if you're trying to give it a little bit more oomph from behind. That's it. So the other hand can go out with a little bit of balance if you wish. So with my right hand on my cheek, press the button, give it a little shove up. That's it. Give it a little shove up. That's it. Can you go a little higher? Little shove up. That's it. Lovely. Let's try the other side. Hand on the left cheek. Find your sit bone. If you need to sit back a little bit to find it, find your bone, and then give it a little press and push, and up we come. Press and lift. Little oomph from behind. A little, very nice. Lovely. Now you're going to have your hands flat out. So you can kind of still feel where you had your hand. So if you can still feel that and use that in this next exercise. So in this exercise now, we're going to start with the hands just out in front. So you're going to march with one, march with the other. And then I want you to go a little wider with the hands. Wide, wide, a little wider, wide, wide, a little wider, wide, wide. And now you can see each leg, one might be able to go a little further than the other. That's it. And now we're bringing our way in. We're bringing our way in and bringing our way in. Very nice, excellent. And shake it out. Good. A little spinal stretch before we go down to the floor. So I'm just going to the side so you can see my spine. We're going to start with that swing of our tailbone. So if you think of something heavy hanging off your tailbone and you're swinging it between your legs. Yeah, your tailbone is swinging something heavy between the legs. And you can really let that tailbone swing. And can you feel that it's quite nice and relaxing on the back of the pelvis as well, just to let that go. Okay, now you're going to tuck that tailbone under, slide your hands down and roll down as far as your back is happy here. Lift your arms high. And then if you want to, put your hands on your thighs to roll back up. And then from here, we're going to push your tailbone out behind and then push the back of the head back as if they're looking at each other. And then we're going to back into neutral, tailbone under again. And we're sliding down, and you might find you can go a little further. Up we come. And then poke the tailbone and head back. One more. Rounding it out. And back. And up and release. Super. Okay. So grab your Dynaband, please. And I want to do just one or two exercises before we go to the floor this morning. So I want you now just to give the Dynaband a quick pull, and you want to make sure that you can get it stretched straight with the arms with a little bit of work, but you know you can get there. But you don't want it too easy either. Yeah. So let's think we did that lovely work now with this shoulder girdle earlier. So we can have the shoulders rested down. And I want you to keep that lovely length in your neck. And as you pull wide, I want you to think lovely length in your spine. So you push the crown of your head to the ceiling, your shoulders are melted, and you're going wide. And you're releasing. Straight arms wide. And you're releasing. That's it. Straight arms wide. And now we're going to go into a diagonal. So I'm going to go right arm up in the diagonal, left arm down. That's it. Bringing it down. And again, wide. Lovely length in your neck still. Very good. And then we'll go the other way. And diagonal wide. And this is just warming up the back. Warming up those shoulders for the exercises ahead. Lovely. And release. Now, loosen your band up plenty and reach up and see, can you pull it behind you there? Now, if you need to loosen it a bit more, do. And up and down. Lovely. Now, I want you to think of the top of the arm. Remember, ball and socket joint there. So there's a little ball here. So I want you to think of a rolly ball in there as you circle the arms back. So roll the ball in the shoulder. Yes. Roll the ball, and you're looking for a lovely, slidey, greasy, slippier movement inside your shoulder. Glidey, slidey movement. That's it. And then back we come and release. Fantastic release. Great. Okay, let's come to the back of the mat. You're welcome just to pop your band down. And we're going to go down onto the hands and knees before we go straight to the mat again. So let's go to the back of the mat, and then if you can roll and down or come down whatever way you feel you can, we're going to pad forward onto the mat. Super. Okay. So on these few exercises, you're welcome to go on to the elbows, but just remember as well, if you have a pillow there, you can have your fingers off the top of the pillow or here, or sometimes in class, I would always cue rolling your mat up a little bit at the front and then have your fingers off the top of your mat. It's quite nice on the wrist as well. Okay, so we're going to get the legs going now. We did the lows in the arms. So shoulders are just sliding down your back. Have a little rock in your pelvis there, just to make sure that you don't have your belly hanging or you're not too rounded. So you're kind of thinking of if you had a tray of glasses on a tray in your back, that they would all be still balanced. Okay, so the first one now, we're going to do exactly what we did when we were standing there with our knee lifts. We're going to imagine we're drawing a line in the sand with our toe and bring it in. A line in the sand with our toe and bring it in. Now what we're going to do then for 5 is I'm going to go a little wider with the leg. And each time I go back with the leg, I'm going to go a little wider. And can you see then that I'm going, yes, can you see? Yeah, just like we did with our knee when we were standing. So let's start with, I'll go with my left leg just because it's closer to you, but you can start again with your left with me if you wish. So I'm going to go straight back and in. I'm going to go a little wider off the mat and in. I'm going to go a little wider again and in. Now 2 more. So on the 5th one, I want to be going as wide as I can to the side and then back. And then I'm going to work my way back for 4, 3, 2, and then back in line with the hip for 1 and then back. Okay, other side. So straight back and in. Off the side of your mat and in. A little further, my pelvis is then steady. I've got 2 more. And in, last one, as wide as I can. And in, then I'm working it back. And in. Moving and working the mobility off my hip, but you're also working so hard in the center. Straight back in line and hold it there. Take a moment, shake out those wrists if you need. Lovely. So the next one again, we're going to stay on the hands and knees, but do pop onto the elbows if you wish. Okay. And this one, start by sliding your knee wide and in. And if you can think of keeping those pelvises nice and level, wide, and can you feel the cheek of your backside is doing all the work in this one? Shortening and lengthening of the cheek of the backside. And then we're going to add to that a little bit more range. So you're going to go wide, reach out and back in line with the hip and slide in. Slide wide, reach and back and slide in. Wide, stretch around and in. Last one, wide, reach around and in. And what that one does, builds all the 3 of your cheek of your backside muscles. Other side, you might find you're a little stronger one side over the other. So sorry, I'll swing around so you can see my legs. Okay, same thing. We'll start with a little warm up right here on the cheek by just going wide and straight in. Now you stay nice and level on your shoulders. Slide. We'll do one more warm up and then let's add that extra range. Slide, stretch and back. Very nice. Slide, reach and back. Lovely movement in the hip, and we warmed that hip up with the previous exercises. So don't be afraid to test yourself out. Whoosh. Lovely, and back. Now, to get a nice butt stretch here, what I would think of is think of the cheeks of the backside, spreading wide as you sit back. If that's okay in your knees, you want to really feel your backside spread wide as you sit back. If that's okay with the hips and knees. And then up we come. Lovely. Now, let's swing over onto the side here. Down we go. Take a hand weight with you, and we're on this side. And you're welcome to add any head support there that you find will help relax your shoulders. And just, yeah, absolutely modify if you need, just to find a spot that you feel your neck and shoulders are going to relax for a bit. Okay, so we're going to get into these side muscles. So what I want you to do is stretch your legs out. Have your feet and hips and shoulders nicely aligned. And then take your top leg up. And if you find that you need a little less challenge, I bend your bottom knee. But if you're happy here and you feel it's okay, keep both legs long and reaching, and your top leg is up in line with your hip. Lovely. Hand on the top of your leg, and we're going to feel these leg muscles here at the top really contract to lift your leg up, and then we're going to feel them lengthen to release. You can feel the side of your hip bunch up and then release. These muscles are really important when you're out walking. If you end up kind of going a little bit to the side or slipping down the slope, they will catch you. And lift and down. Lovely. Now I want you to turn your knee and your toe to face the ceiling. And now you're lifting up and flexing down. So it's a different muscle. You can feel more front of thigh up and down. And two more. Flex and down, and one more up, and flex and down. Lovely, and turn that leg back and have a little release there. Okay, so the next one now is we're going to, you can bend your bottom knee a little bit if you wish, but you can keep your hand in front for this one. So what I'm going to do is turn my knee to the ceiling. So when I side up, the flat of my foot is sliding up the inside of my bottom leg, and then is sliding back down. My leg slides up the inner thigh and slides down. Slide up my inner thigh and slide down. Now we're going to add a little more. We're going to slide up and we're going to kick and down. We're going to slide, kick and down. Slide, kick and down. Last one, slide, whoosh, and down. Now bend the knees, pull that leg into the hip, is probably being a little overcooked there, and then catch your bottom or your foot, and then we'll get a little thigh stretch there. Nice deep breath in and out there, and release, and down. Now I'm going to bring you up onto your elbow now, and I want you to line your elbow, the cheek of your backside and the flat of your feet up with the back of your mat. It's a nice point of reference. So my elbow, my backside, and my feet are all lined up with the back of my mat. Now from here, you can see that I'm kind of slouched into the mat. So I'm going to put my hand on my top hip and I'm going to push it away. And you see how that's taken me from here to here? Yes. And I want to stay here. So I need to pull this elbow in now so that I can keep a lovely taut triangle here. Now keep this hand down in front, and then let's see if we can push into the legs and lift the hips off the floor and back down. That's it. Now I want you to think more leg than elbow on this one. Push into your legs, get a lift up and drop and down. If you're feeling pretty good, you're welcome to reach and drop down. Or you can keep your hands here. You can reach and drop down. That's it. As long as your hip is off the floor, reach and down. Last one. And a lift and down. Excellent. Okay, so now we're going to swing to the other side. Let's do the kicks on the other side. So maneuver yourself to the other side, or you can swing knee and just turn around. And on this side, you organize the neck and shoulders depending on what you need. You lengthen your legs out. Take the top leg up and just make sure your shoulder, hip, and knee are in line, and your foot. And if that feels a little bit too challenging, soften your bottom knee. But if you feel okay, hold it there. Hand on the top of the hip. We want to just feel these muscles here contract and bunched up to pull your leg up and then let them release. Contract and bunch up, let them release. And then slide your hand down a little bit. Same here, side of the leg. You're going to feel the muscles working to pull you up. That's it. And now turn your knee and toe now to face the ceiling. And then we're going to lift up, flex, and drag down. So you can feel a little bit more up to the front of your thigh. Flex and down. Up we come. Flex and down. Are we breathing? Up and flex and down, and let's release that one there. Okay, so for the next one, you can soften your bottom knee a little bit if you need for balance. I'm going to turn my knee and toe up again so that if I can slide my leg up my inner thigh and down my inner thigh. But you want to get as much of your flat of foot on the inside of your bottom leg as you can. Yeah, so you feel loads of movement has to happen in your hip here, doesn't it? And down we go. Well, we add the kick from the next. So we slide up, we kick and down. And if you can think of something you want to kick, like a ball or something this morning, and give it a good whack, up and kick and down, that's it. And a one and kick and down, and let's release that poor hip there. We pull that leg in, and we'll grab and we'll give a little stretch. Lovely, and release and down. Now let's bring it up onto the elbow. So you have your elbow, the cheek of your backside, and the flat of your feet lined up with the back of your mat. And then we're going to put our hand on our hip and pull. Yeah, so we're going from here to here. And then we're going to pull this elbow in so we keep this triangle nice and taut. Okay, so hand in front initially. Remember, push into your legs to lift your hip and down. See if you can use your legs more than your elbow. Yes, and you'll find it a little easier when you really push into those thighs and knees. And then if you feel good on this side, add a little arm stretch. But if you feel, no, I just need to keep my hand here, do so as well. Reach and up. So this is getting the muscles on the side of our body that are really important to help keep our back in good nick. One and down, and let's release that out. Good. Onto the back we go. Support onto the head if you like so. Lovely. So from here, we're going to do a little rock of the pelvis backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. So I'm just lifting my tailbone, dropping my tailbone, lifting my tailbone, drop my tailbone, last one, and drop. Now I want to grab my Dynaband or my scarf, and I'm going to pop my right foot in for a nice stretch in the legs after all of that side kick. And I'm going to reach up to the ceiling and slide my left leg away as far as I feel I can. And then bring it in again. We'll go again, keeping the back of the pelvis nice and steady. And in, and one more reach. Now hold it there and give a little stir into the hip, a little circle into the hip. And especially pull your leg into those little sticky spots. Yeah, really work into those little sticky spots wherever they are. Change direction. And when you change direction, you might find there's less or more stickiness. And then we'll bring it in. Let's do the other leg. So we'll do a little foot in, a little foot out. And then we'll notice as we stretch this leg up, how different does it feel from the other leg? Are you feeling the stretch in the bottom of the leg more so than the top, or vice versa? And then once you're up there, let's stir into this hip and feel and notice the catch points and work into those catch points. Change direction. And then bend, and let's release and out. Fantastic. Okay, so we have nice stretched legs, nicely anchored into the hips. So let's get into a leg lift now. So I want you just to make sure the back of the pelvis is lovely and balanced, cheek to cheek. Have a little slide of the hands underneath your middle back and just make sure it's nice and rested to the floor. Lovely open chest. Grab your hand weights if you have them. From here, we're going to go up onto the tippy toes, feel that activation around our waist evenly, and then you're going to glide the right leg up. And you decide now, do you want to keep your left tippy toe on the floor, or do you want to bring it into tabletop as well? Up to you. So you can keep a toe on the floor if you wish. Okay, so hold it there, bring your arms to the ceiling, turn the palms to face over behind your head, and then drop your weights and tip your shoulders, so your hands to tip the shoulders. So here we're going to reach up to the ceiling, we're going to lower slowly to the floor, and then back up to the shoulder. Up to the ceiling, lower to the floor, and back up. So then the important part of this exercise is that slow lengthen and lower. That's the strength builder part. Reach and lower, drop a foot to the floor if the back is given, start to give out. And a lift and a lower. One more. And release. Release the weights down. Take those legs and release and release. Lovely. Okay. Now from here, we're going to bring those arms back up to the ceiling. And then you're going to reach behind the head. And then I'm going to bring the weights down to the crown of my head and send my elbows wide. And then I'm going to reach them back overhead again. Now I want you to do that, but notice that your rib cage hasn't lifted off the floor. So is your rib cage still on the mat? And then tip the crown of the head and then reach it back. Tip the crown of the head and reach it back. Inhale, tip the crown of your head, stretch it back. 2, reach it back, and 1, reach it back, and then bring those arms over, and down. Lovely. Release, shake out the shoulders, last one here. So we're going to go up onto the tippy toes again. Float that right leg up into tabletop position, and then I want you to flatten your foot. Place both hands onto the front of your thigh. No need for weights here. And then do a little press push. So you press your hands into your thigh and your thigh into your hands to get a little bit more work. So it's a press push here, and then you release the leg away, push through the heel. And then knee into the hands again, little press push, and release away. Inhale, exhale. So this exercise is really working those deep abdominal and hip flexors. So these are the ones that will help get those knees up nice and high when you're out trekking. They'll give you a little spring up with the knee. These muscles were working. And 2, and 1, and then we'll do a little switch. 1 up, 1 down, hands to the front, flatten your foot, a little press push into the thigh and knee, and then release, stretch, and in, and lengthen, and in, and then put no pressure on my right toe on the floor, press, and in, and 1, and in, and release everything down. Now, remove the support from the back of your head, have your heels in line with your sit bones, so you have your knees and feet apart, and pop either the support you had under your head between your thighs, or if you have another cushion or something else that you can squeeze between your thighs, pop it in there. So the first part now, we're going to imprint the back into the floor, and as we lift up, you're going to gently squeeze your support between your thighs, reach your knees away over your toes, and then down we come and release. We'll do that again, imprint. Up we come, reach the knees, and down we go. We're going to go up again, up we come and hold. Now from here, we're going to go up onto the tippy toes. Keep squeezing the blanket or squeeze between your thighs for 2 more breaths. You're up on your tippy toes. And then drop the heels and roll it down. Take a breath. Up we go again. Hug your thighs. This time, we're going to take the toes off and keep the heels on. Toes off the floor. Toes off the floor. Toes flicked off, that's it. Toes off, there we go, good. And then release and down to the floor we go. Pop your support out and just take those knees in Let's catch and give them a little stretch out. Stretch and release. Now we're going to come up to seated, whatever way you're comfortable. Up we come to seated. Lovely. Get a little support behind you. Now, I want you to grab your Dynaband and I want you to loop your Dynaband around your right foot and grab with your left hand. Yeah, so grab both sides of your Dynaband with your left hand. That's it. Can you see me there? That's it. So from here now, we're going to take a breath and you're going to pull wide with that hand. Yeah, pull wide with that arm. So you're pulling across your body. That's it. So I'm having a seat and then it's on my hand and I'm pulling away from the foot that I have it on. And you're welcome to bring the other arm out for a little bit of counterbalance. Pull wide and down. Now let's switch legs. We have it around your left and we're going to hold just with the right hand. Left hand might do for a little balance and I'm pulling wide. And this again is working your cross body muscles that are really important in your locomotion, in your walking, your jogging, or whatever you do. And back and release. Now pop the band onto both feet. And now we're going to sit up nice and tall and take a breath and then curl our tailbone back and under, go into our slouchy couch. And then shoulders over the hips and then pull on the band and use the band to help you lift up lovely and tall. And then we'll release, round back into your slouchy couch. Forward and over the hips and pull on the band and sit up tall. 3 more. Take a breath. Round it out. Pull. Round it back. Up we go. And then draw and pull. 1 more. We're going to round. Up we come. Tall and pull and release. Good. Now hold it there and bring your hands out in front. Now if you need to pop a little support underneath your backside, you can. So we're going to circle the arm around, just right hand, and you're going to go as far as you can and keep looking and following that hand. So if you're reaching for something on the back of the car. And do the same other side, back and follow the arm. Now you're making sure that your sit bones stay nice and even weighted on the floor. And back. Relax your shoulders because it's all happening in your waist. And reach and look behind. And reach and look behind. And 1 more, reach and look behind. And reach and look behind. And release and circle it out. Now I want you to go right over onto your hands and knees, just for a little bit of extension here. So just like we did when we're standing, I want you to look out in front, look up as high as you can and poke your tailbone up. And then we're going to go back into the angry cat. And we're going into that extension and into the angry cat. And 2. And last 1. And up we come and release. Now, let's make our way up to standing. Grab your weights. And let's see if we can wrap all of those bits together. Okay, so let's bring the arms up. Lovely. Now, I want you to go up onto your left tippy toe. And you're going to float your left knee and tap it with your right hand. And bring it back. And tap. Very nice. So all that rotational work we've done and the hip work, hip flexor work now, hopefully this feels a little bit more manageable. That's it. and a 1, and back. Take a moment to release the arms. We're going to do that on the other side. If your weights are getting too heavy, you're welcome to drop the weights down. Left tippy toe. Sorry, right tippy toe, left hand, and tip. That's it. And opposite. That's it. And tip. And 2. And a 1. And release. Shake it out. Now, the fun part. We're going to do the same, but to the back. So you're going to see if you can tap or kick up the opposite leg. So I'll go here. So if I'm lifting my left, I'm reaching back with my right. That's it. Yeah. So right hand, left foot. Right hand, left foot. That's it. Well done. And tip. And even if you don't tip, it's fine. And release. Good. And let's do the other side. So I'm going to go foot up and the opposite hand. Now, if you can't tip, just go as close as you can. The key is that you're doing something different and you're reaching into the back line, absolutely, of the body. And you're just giving your body variation. Tip. Lovely. Relax those shoulders. And we're going to do one more. So the one more we're going to do is arms to the side, and you're just going to go to the side. That's it. And then we'll just alternate the sides because it's straight up. So we've done the diagonals, and now we're just keeping it to the same side. That's it. Same side. Same side. Same side. Lovely. Isn't it, when you get back to the same side, it's always just like, how easy is that compared to the diagonal work? Okay, so the last thing now is a little bit of rotation. So we'll do the one we know, the one that we just step in front and step behind, and we'll just swing. Yeah. So give yourself a little space in the room and just go for that lovely swing and enjoy. Think swan leg. Swing and enjoy. That's it. And then just switch the legs and we'll swing and enjoy the other side as well. Also good for the hip, for the waist, all the rotational muscles in the body. Because as we know, life doesn't happen straight in front of us or straight behind us. It happens in every angle. And release and down. Perfect. Drop those weights if you still are catching them. Perfect. Let's take the shoulders up to the ears, sit into our seat, and let it go. Lift the shoulders, sit into your seat. One more. And then I want you to open the arms up, look up to the ceiling, and then bring it down, up to the ceiling, down we go, up to the ceiling, and down we go, and release. And now take a moment to feel how grounded those feet are into the floor. Notice all that fantastic feedback flowing from your feet, from your hands, through your system, through your torso, relaying all that change in your joints, in your muscles, in your strength, in your flexibility, all that good information back into the brain. Notice how you feel since the start of the class. Can you feel any changes? How's your breath? How's your posture? Anything that was niggling you at the start of the class, how does that feel now? Has the movement changed anything? Taking a moment just to notice the reward for all your hard work.